Hey, how you doing? I got this program that I wrote up that will assist with converting models from XPS, or rather Xnalara, into Miku Miku Dance. Uh, Maybe the two scenes don't really understand each other, but on DeviantArt there is a massive community of Xnalara users and Miku Miku Dance users. I think they're aware of each other, but uh, there really has never been a bridge between the both of them. There's a difference between MMD, and that's that it's geared towards anime characters. Well, not necessarily. Well, the problem between converting from XPS to MMD is that you lose material definition. So, actually, LoRa uses normal maps, specular maps, bump maps, light maps, etc. All this stuff. MMD can only use diffuse maps. That's it. So there's a loss of fidelity, but I still think there is a value in bringing these models and kind of looking, bringing them into something that looks a little more simpler and I guess cartoony. But I still think that there should be a bridge between the two communities. So I wrote this application. What it does simply does, it converts a .mesh or .xps file directly to a PMX so that it can be used in MMD. So all you got to do is drag and drop the app, model file onto the app, and it should generate a MMD file. Okay, so just click on this, and you can see it open up. Yeah, you can see there's the what's her name, Zoe from Left 4 Dead. Is that 2? No, Left 4 Dead 1, I guess. Yeah. Now, just some information you may want to be aware of. There might be some garbage in here that you don't understand. I just took whatever information was in the beginning of the file. So here is an example of that file there. The guy who compiled XPS, he took the source code for Xnalara and he's tried to improve it over the years. And it looks like what he's been doing is he's been adding information at the top of the file, like he puts his name in there. I don't know why that's important, but he puts his name in the file. He puts your name in the file. He puts your computer's name in there. He puts the network name of your computer. He puts a bunch of file paths of your computer in there. I don't know why, but maybe it's equivalent to PMX. PMX, you're allowed to put in a comment that will appear when you open the application, such as a disclaimer or something like that. So I don't really understand what this information is, but I've transferred it into PMX as a comment. Now, it may be garbage. I don't know. I didn't talk to the guy who programmed XPS, but it's there in case it's somehow important. I don't know what that's for. Materials as well. There was a thing called a render group, which contains parameter information for configuring shaders for the materials. Now, there's no shaders, there's no materials really for MMD, so really that information can be discarded. Rather than being discarded, it is just placed in the comments section. So if you want to refer to what render group it was or what parameters were supplied, you can look there for that particular information and adapt your new materials accordingly. I think the only other thing it's worth mentioning is upon request, I try to intercept English names from Xnalara and then try to convert them into Japanese ones. I think individuals in the MMD community are actually acclimatized to working with Japanese, or rather are comprised of a lot of Japanese enthusiasts and hobbyists. So I try to convert the names back into Japanese. Now, the interesting thing about MMD is that they actually allow for a field for English and Japanese. So if you look over here to the upper right, if I switch back and forth, you can see I can toggle the language. Now, unfortunately, I notice here it doesn't change the whole list. That is a little bit unfortunate. The premise was to give expanded compatibility to both Japanese users and English users. However, you can see that there still needs to be work done, as not all names are changed to Japanese accordingly. That could be improved in the future. Okay. All right, some other things just to improve productivity and maximize your use of the application. This application can be used in two other ways aside from dragging and dropping something on top of it. If you double click on the application, a browse box will open a window where you can open up a model file and convert it that way. Nothing looked like it changed, but it will overwrite the old PMX. I'll do that again so you can see that. You see it will spit out a new PMX. Okay. The third way you can use it is obviously through command line. Now, there's no parameters that can be passed in the application as of yet, meaning you can't really customize certain processes. That might be something to come in the future. But if you're interested in doing batch work, then this is where it benefits you. You can run the application through command line. Basically, you specify the application name, the program to open, the program to save, and then it will do the work. Now, I've come up with a different idea of utilizing the command line, and that is integrate that into the shell. Now, when you right-click on a item, you will now see that you have a menu item called Convert to PMX. When you click on that, it will automatically do the conversion. Easy, right? Yeah. Now, to integrate this into your operating system, all you have to do is install this registry file simply by double-clicking on it, saying yes, clicking OK, and you're done. Okay, so I'll just review the registry changes so that you understand fully how that does work. So in this location here, under class root, you will see system file associations and then the associated file type. In this case, we're talking about .mesh, and you can see what was added in there. We'll also look at the text file, that is the reg file. And you can see that correlates to what's inside the registry. So it's added a .mesh so that it can be identified as an extension. It added a shell folder, or key, sorry, and then added the menu item and the command for that menu item. So I'll just display the command here so you can see how that works. I have the full path to my application, okay, and then I just provide the parameters to pass in the file names. So that essentially is %1, %1. Everything is double quoted to accommodate for spaces. Pretty simple stuff. Now, there is a so-called hidden feature that you could add to this parameter, though it was only used for testing, so I don't imagine people would want to use it. But if you have a path to your PMX editor, you can pass that as a third parameter. Now, after you have converted something, it'll be passed directly into the PMX editor to be viewed. I found this to be more convenient when I was doing testing. However, I left it out. Well, I will be leaving it out in the release of the application. I keep clicking on there, my bad. Let's get rid of that parameter. Okay, so what I've done is I have exported my registry information to a registry file, which is this thing here, and you can see the commands that were added into the registry. Now there's one thing that you have to change, otherwise this will not work, and that is to change the full path of your executable. So the converter that I will release, you'll save it somewhere, and it won't install itself. You have to install it manually. So that means you have to put this in a dedicated position somewhere on your C drives, somewhere like that, and then you need to specify the path that you've saved it to. So the way I did this for mine, I just looked at the path, copied the path, and I'm just going to sub it in before the name, paste here, and then I need to include the appropriate slashes. So you have to include double slashes instead of singles. So we're going to go // and then we're going to replace the single slashes with double slashes. Simple. Okay. Now remember, these things here are quotes. They are represented as a slash and a quote. That actually, in fact, just means a quote. But make sure that you have these things quoted. That's important. Otherwise, any file path with a break or a space will not work. Okay. Once you had added your appropriate path to your executable, you can just merge it, double click on it, and then you're good to go. That's pretty much it. If anybody has further questions or has any problems, I believe the release will be stable, but there could always be an issue. So please contact me via YouTube, or I am on DeviantArt. You could contact me there as well. Include the file that's failed or crashed, and I will debug and have that working with the application. All right, thank you for watching, and I hope you have fun converting stuff, guys. This is going to be fantastic to see the two communities merge. Thank you.